Good day, everybody. This is Tracy Brown, your somatic dietitian and a tune eating specialist. And we have all done it. Maybe you've heard family or friends doing it too, is feeling like that they deserve the state that they're in health-wise because of XYZ behavior. And I know that if you're watching this, you might be struggling with chronic dieting issues or disordered eating, and are feeling like, I caused this, and that can create a collapse. And so this video today is about just encouraging you to think about things in a different way, which would be, instead of hating and worrying the body into a different state of health, what would happen if we were just like, yeah, my bones hurt, or I'm in pain, or I have to take this medication, and this is also the season of life I'm in. So this week we've talked a lot about how we often have shame about recovery. The exchange was that I needed to gain weight, and more than I thought I would, and out of the culturally acceptable body, and we blame ourselves and hate ourselves for that, or blame the body for that, when in fact it's like we don't really have ultimate say. And I know that belief that we should be able to control it causes a lot of suffering. And so these videos this week, I know, haven't been the easiest ones in terms of content or maybe things to think about, but what I know is true is that I've never seen anybody hate themselves healthier or in less pain, or worry themselves into different eating behaviors that create any kind of change. In fact, I think that creates a lot more internal stress. And I'm basically imploring you to let's have forgiveness for whatever and however we got here. That much of it's not in your control anyway. You might think that I caused my diabetes, or I caused whatever. We don't know what's going on and what gets triggered within our bodies, within the genomes we have, that could have happened 30 years ago that had nothing to do with your food intake. An environmental thing, a virus. We don't know. We may never know. So it's really important to see things in a big lens, a big scope, and in the big picture of maybe malnutrition is part of why I've got something going on, or maybe chaotic eating is maybe a part of something that I've got going on. And I'm not saying anything's not a factor, whether it's 1% or 99% of maybe why your body isn't as well as you'd like it to be. Because we talked about weight on Wednesday, so today I want to talk about health. Is that, maybe our bodies aren't as well as we'd like them to be. That may be because of some of our dieting behaviors. But remember, again, just like with Wednesday and Monday, that we've only done the best we could with the information we had, and with our capacity to actually do something different. So, I knew good and well when I was a kid that restricting control, this is not probably the best thing to be doing. I know I'm losing muscle mass. I know I don't have a period. There's a level of we have some common sense in us that knows that food restriction only depletes our nutrient stores in our bodies. We know that. And how can we heal from a cold? How can we heal from a wound or a cut? How do we not? We all know that you can get headaches very easily from dehydration and malnutrition. We know that. It doesn't have to be just nutrients, but calories. But that doesn't always change in the moment our capacity to do something different. And that's where this work comes in, of self-compassion and being willing to learn how to ride the waves of emotion and working on this in safe connection. I didn't get well by myself at all. No way, shape, or form. I was determined and vigilant, and kind of had a fire lit in me around this isn't all there is. There can't be all there is this life of hating our bodies and being on plans and programs and caring what people think. Something in me knew that this isn't all there is, this surfacey stuff. And that's what drove me. Sometimes just that curiosity and that belief that, like, this isn't all there is, worried about, like, my food intake, how many additives are in my food, hand wringing about this stuff. I knew somewhere in me that, or what my weight is, or what people think. I knew that wasn't all there was, and that's sometimes all I had to really drive me, until I started really getting into some better, safe relationships and not pushing them away and sticking with it. And those things help me see, like, oh, well, okay, so yeah, we all make decisions that we probably later regret, or we all just do things, and that's part of the mess of being. I want to encourage you today, if you are struggling with some judgment about your body not functioning as well when it did when you were 10 or you were 16 or you were 30 or you're 40, is that there are a lot of factors in that. It's not just all about the food and movement. Some of it may be, and that's okay. That's part of this. That's the thing. That's part of the journey, to be able to say, like, what can I do for my body now? There are things that maybe I needed to do that I couldn't do 1 year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. What can I do now? And that's something that can bring you a lot of empowerment if you choose to allow yourself to have that. And when I say what can I do now, I don't mean like what diet can I do now. I mean what kind of actual care that's evidence-based enough that helps my body feel better in the situation it is, or at least to manage things better, and to, like, let myself just be with, okay, I did what I could do. Do the food, do the movement, do the supplements, take my medications, connect with people, allow myself some play and some joy in my life, and I've got to hand it over. This is all I can do, and trust. I have a question here. Someone said, I could not hear you. This did not come through. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure, Carol, what you're speaking of. You can type a little bit more if you missed some parts. I'm not sure what that was for you, but it's not quite clear on your comment what you're asking me. So you have to say more specifically. So does anybody have any questions today about it's not always about, like, oh, I have to love the situation I'm in. Like, I don't love the fact that, I've had different times of not so awesome feeling great. But again, we can manage and overcome. Like, I'll just be really transparent. For me, I have to really watch my fatigue levels, because I've been in a place of really low, like, energy. And so every year it gets better about how much capacity I have to do all I need to do, maybe in plus some. But I manage it, because I know, where I've been, and it's just something that's important to me, because I don't want to get depleted. I could always do more. I could work. I know that about myself. But I don't do it. Not because I couldn't, but because I know that, it might not be good for me, so I don't. And it's not because it's a judgment. It's just something that I've noticed, that when I want to work, that's not always just about, like, all these things are so important to get done. It could be like, this is meaning something about me, so I'm very intentional about everything. So maybe for you, it's like, I've got a lot of pain, and I know the things that manage it really well, and I sometimes get really frustrated, and I want to blame myself. It's like, well, you're so allowed to get frustrated, but be really curious. Is it, are you blaming yourself from, like, a cultural lens of, like, we all have ultimate say over everything? Or is it like, given my circumstances and the information and the support or lack thereof I had with the body I had at that point, what would have needed to be in place to do something different? And if that wasn't possible, how could that be something that you're fully, I don't know, that deserves all of that angst, if that makes sense. So But again, as a wrap up here, Debbie, I'm glad that you felt like this was for you. The reason I was so late is because I was driving somewhere and I got lost. So I had to keep putting the time back. I finally found where I need to be, and I'm just waiting. And isn't that funny? How sometimes we know where we need to go, but we get lost getting there. That's maybe appropriate for all of us too. But here we are. We made it. So Debbie and everyone else watching, I want you to tune into where you are kind of being harsher on yourself than you need to be. And you're allowed to be frustrated or wish that something wasn't happening. But what's the best we can do right now in this situation? So I hope this served you. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out. Please make sure you get the holiday guide. I'll post it below if you don't already have it. If you haven't and you haven't worked through it, do it this weekend. And save yourself some stress. And give yourself the comfort and containment of you're prepared for what's coming. If there's some things that have been feeling like that's been on your heart that's kind of heavy, or you just kind of want to feel like, yeah, I got this. This guide is for you if you want to go into the holidays, I got this with food. We can do it. All right, thank you all so much for watching live, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care for now, and those who are watching the replay, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope it helps and encourages you, and if you know somebody that could benefit from this, just taking a drink from a well of, there's so many factors that have gotten us where we are, and most of us have done, if not all of us, have done the best we can with what we've had. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.